welcome back to the Next Game Dilemma, your board gaming podcast. Today we're diving into two games that wear their charm on their sleeves, T-Witches and Flamecraft. Popular titles that use worker placement and light engine building to back up their inviting, whimsical presentation. We'll talk about what makes these games shine, and before we wrap up, we'll be breaking down what we personally look for when we buy board games depending on the price point, from budget fillers to premium box experiences. Let's go! Alright, man, it has been a long time since we got together to do this, hasn't it been? It's been, what?
Oh.
Ooh, actually...
a year, 2 years?
Yeah. I was going to say, it was 2000 and, close to 22.
It's been many years.
Yes.
Woof.
Yeah.
Many years. Okay.
Life has gone in the way, but we still found a way to play more and more board games somehow.
Yeah. Well, a lot more recently.
Oh, yeah, which is why we're getting back together for this.
Oh, that's right. Because it's time. It's time for more board games. It's the board game re-renaissance.
The re-renaissance? I like that.
Yeah, no, I feel like, I don't know, like we're sort of creeping back into normal, but not really. I think maybe we're just reaching for normalcy now.
Normalcy, yeah, I suppose.
No, it's been nice. We've been getting definitely more regular games in. Or getting games in more regularly, I should say.
Yeah. It feels good. I've been going over to our other friend's, Alex's house. We got to play some games that we haven't played in quite a while, actually. Recently, I took a team manager down there to Alex's house, and we played it with BB, me, Christina.
Oh, yeah, Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
Wait, is that not a 2-player game? Is it 2 to 4?
2 to 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Plays weird at 3, fine at 4.
Yeah, I played BB once a long time ago. I barely remember anything from the game.
No, solid game that's been discontinued for a while now from Fantasy Flight. The whole Blood Bowl, the fantasy football team manager experience. Yeah, very good if you're able to get a hands on it or go down to one of your local board game cafes or something along those lines. Quite the fun game. A very, very tight, small box. Everything's really
compact. Yeah,
but neat. It's just very neat is not the word that I ever want to describe Blood Bowl or Warhammer, you know what I mean? But it is exactly that. It's neat, it's tight.
It's efficient.
Quite efficient, yeah. And you have the possibilities to do things like season runs, which I've always wanted to do.
To be clear, yeah, so I don't have hardly any experience that I can remember appreciably anyways. But I always wanted to get into it. How would you describe the gameplay?
So, remember, you're not necessarily playing football itself. This is a team manager game, so you're playing out the results as opposed to playing the game itself.
Okay.
Almost plays out as a card area control game.
Okay.
You're trying to control or get as much points and hold on to the ball from each different game that comes up. Most rounds has 3 to 4 games that come up, and each one will have prizes depending on where you play your cards or where you play your units and things like that. At the end of the game, I think it's either most fans or most points. I don't know if there's a point mechanism or if it was fans specifically. No, I think it might have been fans that you gain throughout the game in order to.
And you earn fans by winning games, I imagine.
Yeah, by playing cards and achieving certain goals.
Okay.
But I've played other 40K games and Dark Heresy and stuff like that. Those games did not feel tight, did not feel neat. They felt like chaos.
Like loose and sloppy.
The exact opposite of tight and neat. Loose and sloppy. But no, Team Manager, it felt really good, especially because it didn't necessarily feel like football. It got all of the sort of Team Manager essence behind it correct. Okay. I really like it. Like I said, it plays really good at 2-player. Plays fantastic at 4-player. You could do it 3-player. I've had that before. But then you have sort of like this area where you can't quite gain the right amount of points, and then it starts to feel really sloppy.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, 2 and 4, because it feels correct. Actually, I was gonna say that would be a game for you, because I know you play lots of 2-player games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or even 2-player versions of games a lot.
Yeah.
I was gonna recommend that one. But she actually is one of the reasons that we're getting together and talking, because she provoked the purchase
Yeah.
of the game that kind of re-sparked this whole interest back into the hobby.
Yeah, so I was down at my local board game shop. In this case, gonna put a shout out to Little Shop of Magic in Las Vegas. I consider the owner John, a good friend, not close friend, but good friend.
Difference, yes.
Yeah. Super cool guy, and he runs a tight ship. Yeah, he's had nothing but success over the course of my knowing him, so I've been glad to be one of his patrons. I went down to look for a particular game. Unfortunately, I was sidelined by the discovery of one charming little box.
Not so little, I would say.
Well, I guess you're right. It is more of a medium-sized box.
I would say it's a fairly medium to large box. Like it's a fairly chunky box, man.
Yeah, well, we're not looking at like Castles of Mad King Ludwig or anything.
Yeah, but you're looking at the special edition.
Oh, is that your special edition?
Yeah, that's the big box right there.
Okay, I guess it is about the same size as Frostpunk, and yeah, Frostpunk is on the chunkier side. Okay.
It's
okay.
I would say it's a fairly bigger size. It's what's that one game that started the original podcast, like King's Dilemma?
Yeah.
It's a little bit smaller than King's Dilemma.
Yeah.
So it's not a small game or box, at least by any means. And when it gets onto the board, it's even bigger. Yeah.
Oh man, out of the box is it's uncanny. I guess that's why I called it little, but also it's so damn charming.
Oh yeah.
It's an unassuming box. I will say that. But the art. Oh man, can we get the box out here?
Oh sure.
Okay, yeah. I could not talk about T-Witches without also mentioning Sendara Tang. So, T-Witches absolutely is one of the most charming presentations of a board game I've ever had the pleasure of playing. The art by Sendara Tang again. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
I hope so as well.
Yeah.
That's the way I would pronounce it.
Maybe it's just Sandra, but either way. Beautiful art. Very, I don't know, Ghibli-ish, but also
definitely
Disney-ish.
has her own flair. But yeah, like a mix between Disney and Ghibli for sure.
Ghibli, fuck you. Oh.
No, I mean,
yeah, I'm sure it's probably
either way.
Ghibli. So, my wife saw this game, and I couldn't deny just how attractive this game was. And normally, I'm one of the first look past an IP, especially, or just anything that is this good looking. I'm usually instantly kind of wary of. Is okay, well, this game definitely spent a large portion of its budget on presentation. How much did they really mechanically design this game? How much did they test it? Those are always the questions that arise first. So, but in this case, I couldn't find what I was looking for originally. I know not the most shining
start to a review.
Yeah. I couldn't find what I was looking for. So this game presented itself and I couldn't turn it down. I told my wife it was for her. Savvy is her name. She's, eyes lit up. I bought it trepidatiously, but with high hopes.
I think those high hopes paid off.
Yes. As it turned out, we happened to have a friend over. So we got to play our first game as a 3-player game where we all learned at the same time. And, we stumbled a little bit here and there, having been a little rusty from not playing board games very frequently. Played that first game and just instantly fell in love. I will say, the first couple rounds, were a little fidgety, trying to figure out how everything fit, how the pieces all fit together. But man, once you're past those first couple days, each game is played across 4 days. So about halfway through the game, yeah, you start to realize, oh, okay, maybe this is what I'm meant to do, or maybe that's what I'm supposed to do in this situation, or what have you. It's just it's one of the nicer worker placements I have, because we've played a lot of worker placement games.
Yeah, that's our fault. That's definitely our fault.
Well, no shade. I do enjoy a good worker placement game, but having played so many, that does mean that I find fewer and fewer of them to be unique or compelling. This is a shining example of something that's compelling.
Yeah. You definitely hit the nail on the head for this one. It's overflowing with charm. We've talked a lot previously, and in private conversations, about how sometimes a system is so good it doesn't matter what it is. You could just swap something out with something else, or swap in an IP, and nobody would really care. It would be just as good. This is not necessarily a case for it or against it, but it's one of those things that everything feels so nice together. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think in the same vein where some big podcasts or YouTube channels will cover a game, that needs to be covered because of the amount of attention it receives. When normally, okay, I'm just going to shout out, it's a Shut Up and Sit Down is who I'm referencing here, where there have been examples where they wouldn't normally review a game, but they felt they had to because of the amount of attention it got. I think Fallout was the example of that one. And it's, where they were trying to warn people, hey, this is a really attractive IP, we understand, but be wary. This is a pretty shaky game at best under the surface. This, I feel like we need to cover for the exact opposite reasons. Don't look past this game because of how charming it is on the surface. Like, please pick up this game because it is so solid. The decisions are so crunchy. You'll struggle a lot at the beginning learning the game, deciding what to do. Might be some analysis paralysis.
I also do want to specify one really big thing that you may not realize how much it's influenced us, but right before we started playing this, we sort of had a small obsession with Civilization.
Oh, that's true.
Which one was it? Through the Ages.
Through the Ages, yes.
So we came from playing Through the Ages, like, back to back to back to back, online and in person for maybe a week or two, and then we landed on this. So for us to be like, oh, it's not as hard, it's a little bit more accessible. I think maybe we have to be thinking about it as in terms of that, because we came from quite a difficult learning curve and sort of intimidating game to T-Witches.
Yeah, so where I would say what's Through the Ages might be like on a 7 weight, maybe, as far as complexity, where T-Witches is maybe around like a 5.5 or a 6.
Yeah.
So still fairly complex.
A fun 5 and 6.
Yeah. You know what? No, I'd say 6.5 maybe.
I wouldn't go that far. I would still say, because I can also compare it directly to Flamecraft, the game that we were going to talk about as well.
Oh, yes.
That also has the art from, was it Sandra Tang?
Yeah, Sandra Tang, Sandara, whatever. Yeah.
We're butchering it. We're so sorry.
Yeah.
But your art's awesome. So, sort of in the same way that he went and sort of got derailed from his original purchase by this beautiful game, we wanted a copy of it ourselves for the house. We went to a different game, 9 Day Games here in Las Vegas as well. Awesome shop. And they were having their, Black Friday type of madness. And of course, T-Witches was unfortunately sold out at the time. But we had looked it up and saw that they also had this one, and we're like, well, let's take a chance on it because we really like the art. So she wanted a cute game specifically. She wasn't leaving it without a cute game. So I went with that one, and it's not as hard or as difficult. I think it's definitely like a step down. So if T-Witches is like a 5.5 maybe, Flamecraft is a 4.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Also because Flamecraft, I think it's meant to sort of like you start slow and then you pick up very quickly and end really fast. The playtime is also faster in Flamecraft than it is T-Witches.
Yeah. So when we were going through the game and looking through the rules, and Noel was describing it to me, he mentioned it's like a worker placement engine builder sort of thing. So going into it, I was it was kind of interesting to see it unfold and to realize that you were building sort of public engines, engines that other people can use too. And that was an interesting concept. And yeah, so I do like the game. We only got one game in together. I'm not sure how many games you guys got.
I think we're a total of 3 in right now. With it.
Nice. I am eager to get more in so I can get a better feel for it. But yeah, it is it's crunchy in it's like a different flavor.
Yes.
Of a similar game.
If you've either played T-Witches and you're like, oh, this is like just a little bit too much for me, but I like it and I like the style of it. Flamecraft is T-Witches, light.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way, not in a derogatory way. There's plenty of decisions to be made, and has its own unique engine and its own unique flavor, of course. Even though it has the same art and the same sort of style, it's not anywhere near the same worlds.
Yeah, I do want to stress that. Like, mechanically, these games don't have a lot in common, but artistically speaking and, like, thematically speaking, both of these games really pop. They really take advantage of that super charming art from Sandra Tang. And yeah, it's two different publishers, two different game companies, two different designers.
Just happen to have the same artist.
Yeah, it just happened. Oh, no, actually, I'm an idiot. Yeah, it says right there, Manny Vega. It's the same designer for both games. Just two different publishers. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, Flamecraft and T-Witches, both amazing. Two different levels of complexity.
And two different price points, too.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. How much was Flamecraft?
So, Flamecraft MSRP, I believe, is in the $40 to $45 range.
Okay.
And I believe T-Witches is in the $55 to $60 range.
Yeah, so we picked it up for $60.
Okay. So then it's probably in the $65 to $70 range, which I could see. There's enough components inside of it to make it look nice, and it has it has a very unique board and setup.
Oh, yeah. You can't talk about T-Witches without bringing up the table presence.
Yeah.
So it is an enormous game. It will take up your entire dinner table.
And it's enormous in, like, not in a way of, like, a Twilight Imperium where it's just, like, there's no space. It's just, it takes up a fairly wide area, and you need all of the area for it. Like, everything sort of has its space.
Yeah. We found that a 6-person dining room table, like a typical 6. Yeah. What is that? Maybe whatever your typical dining room table measurements are.
6.
Yeah, normally seat 6. It is almost the perfect size for 4 people to have their own space and for the board.
You're comfortable.
Yeah, that's a comfortable setup. If you have less than that, you might want to be playing with just 2 players.
I don't know, because a lot of that is the board. Like the board itself is the presence.
That's true, but each player has their own tableau as well.
Right.
Which the tableau is not the full space that you need. You need more space around the tableau to line up your customers and what have you. So yeah, I don't want to poo poo on the game.
It is big. It's like I said, it's a fairly big box.
It's the price you pay when you want a game with that much charm to have the table presence.
Yeah.
That it has. Like, it's wonderful.
And we can't not talk about how nice the insert inside of it is. It's one of the things that that I feel like fairly bougie whenever I'm looking at board games is how nice the insert is. How much is it going to make me work for it? And T-Witches, and I'll give a shout out to Flamecraft as well. Both very nice inserts, very nice boxes, very nice components overall. And including T-Witches, I believe even in the very back of it, it tells you, like, hey, if you like these, we have the upgrade in the acrylics and the wood versions.
Oh, yes, yeah.
For the stuff. So we haven't bought that yet.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to be picking that up. Oh, it's almost Christmas. I need to get that order in sooner rather than later. So I'll be doing that right after we're done recording.
Probably. But if you have a chance to look this game up, beautiful game, not just for the artwork, but for the way it sets up. So, of course, you have sort of like I don't know how many edges is hexagonal type of a shape.
Yeah, it's 6 bowls for the 6 different types of teas. And then the fountain, which is this beautiful piece that turns everything in the middle. That thing, yeah, it must be a hexagonal fountain.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how many spaces. Give us 1 second. Yes, so correct.
Yeah, 6 is the magic number in this game.
One of the unique mechanics for it is we can talk about how the way you gain resources, in this case tea, and how you can get cards and many other things in this. But one of the unique mechanics in the game is sort of the way you would shift the fountain in order to produce or to end with your turn with a certain type of tea in order to fulfill and gain points.
Yeah.
That alone, I've always been a sucker for those type of boards that shift. Zulkin, for me, is definitely up there in terms of design and use of the board. The same way here. Just the way you would turn it in order to end your turn. That way you have tea in your pot, and the way you have tea in the fountain in order to fulfill 2 goal orders in order way to get points in this game. It feels so nice when other people do it for you, or it happens on not during your turn. it feels so nice. You're like, perfect.
Yeah.
You know, it just turning it yourself or just having it turn. I don't know why. It feels gratifying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I can get close at least to what makes it so fun. Because you mentioned, I think you were trying to reference Zolkin a little bit, where something about that turning of the dial and just seeing these massive effects, like, oh no, we're going to upset everything. Everything's about to change right
Yes.
here. Boom. Because and typically it's not even all that exciting. You're spinning it to get your tea and what have you, but you're seeing the effect on all the spaces around you that you're not even intending, and knowing that everyone is sort of on edge, like hoping, like, oh, you're gonna turn it to exactly where they need it, and you're like, no, like you're just hoping. Nope, this is just for me. No one else is gonna benefit. Oh dang. Noel got a to-go order to shoot.
Even though you take your orders, not your orders, even though you take your turns individually and you fulfill your teas, fill your orders, get your power-ups, all these little things, even though you do all this by yourself, there's still a small interactive sort of portion with the game, the way you do turn the dial and give out teas and give out position with the board itself, and because of the to-go orders.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to keep you engaged, I guess is the word.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, I'll say, as far as how engaging it is, I've got, I think now 5 games under my belt, and I still feel like I haven't fully, figured it out. I haven't optimized any path to victory yet, because I haven't fucking won yet. So yeah, not one of my better games, but I can't oversell like how much I'm sold on this game. Like I think about it all the time. Like,
I think that says a lot for games in general. When you lose and you're like, let's get another crack at it. Let's get back in there, figure out where I can maximize my effort here and my output here.
Yeah.
It's those type of games that definitely you come back to and end up being, they end up being classics. In your collection at the very least. So that's a good thing. Also, I think I won it once, and I think we played a total of it. Did we play a total of it 2 or 3 times? You didn't leave this year, did you?
No, I didn't.
So we played it twice then.
I think so. Yeah.
I won it once and lost it twice, and the second time when I played it and I lost it, it was fairly close still, but I was just like, how do I get back on top?
Right.
Like definitely a game that had me wanting to get more reps in it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I will say, okay, maybe not, all praise. Maybe it isn't the greatest that I'm not able to identify, what it is I did wrong when I lost, or what I did right when I got closer to winning. You know what I mean? Because I will say I don't have a clear concept of what I'm doing or what I'm doing, but I will say that when I'm doing what I'm doing, it's fun.
Yeah, you're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mechanics itself and the different options that you have in the game they all feel unique enough to where if this was the worker placement that you wanted to have in your collection, and that be the only one, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. So the premise for that, I think, is a little flawed, because there's so many different ways to handle worker placement in general, that it feels unfair. But yeah, this is definitely one of those games where this is an exceptional example of how worker placement can be, how that classic formula can be turned on its head and sort of revamped.
And I think the art isn't necessarily. I don't want to like say it's feminine or anything, any one way or the other. It's cute.
It is cute. It's family friendly.
Family friendly is a really good way to put it. So depending on what demographic you fall under, you could fall prey to not wanting to give it a try because it's too cutesy.
Yeah. I mean, come on, guys. You're listening to a podcast by 2 like doodly dudes.
Yeah. The
So if you're worried about if you put that much stock into the way your board games present themselves, then yeah, maybe dodge that. Don't bring it to your Hellfire Angel fucking
but
don't take it to a biker club.
Yeah, who knows? But oh my god, it's so cute.
the coolest motorcycle clubs.
Yeah, that's true. They all have board games.
Specifically T-Witches and Flamecraft.
Yeah. If you were to choose one over the other, I think because we are more invested into the heavier games, we both would probably choose T-Witches.
Yeah.
But I think there is something to be said about Flamecraft and how you pretty much are done with it within an hour.
Yeah, having that nice tight game experience, like the game isn't going to take forever. It won't outlast its welcome. Not that T-Witches does it all, but by the end of a game of T-Witches, you're not gonna dive right back in.
You might. I mean, like when we were almost ready to do it, but it was already late by then.
And that's kind of my point. Is like you'll want to, but you won't have the energy to maybe, unless you're playing early in the day. Flamecraft, on the other hand, you might finish the first game and there's a high chance that you're going to fit in a second game.
And it also, the way you set up, unlike T-Witches, which is more the board itself doesn't change, whereas in Flamecraft it's constantly changing.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of the things. For it being a slightly smaller box, the amount of real estate that you would have to give your table is still a lot. I don't know if it's specifically the designer who's just like, you know what, fuck everybody and their small tables. You're gonna need an heirloom to play this thing on.
If you want a taste of this Sandra Tang Manny Vega joint, you're gonna have to fucking upgrade your table games.
You're gonna rent a poker table or something, dude. The way that T-Witches is sort of like thick and chunky and wide, Flamecraft is long.
Yeah. It's a hot dog versus a hamburger.
Exactly. You need all of that space because of the way that the mechanics work and how you place dragons onto the board and place cards onto the board. You need the space, but I think it's weird that both of his games happen to be his or her games. Excuse me. Happen to be such real estate monsters.
Yeah, I hope they're a couple. I hope that's a couple, and that they're just
My God. That would be an amazing, sweet dream.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for that to be reality.
Yeah.
Damn it. It's going to be devastating when it's not.
No, they just met like a year before the game came out.
I love your art. I like your games.
Sweet. Let's do it.
Boom. Yeah, no, but I find that you owning T-Witches, me owning Flamecraft works. I could see them both being in the same collection if you ended up liking, the cutesy style, a lot. I could see them both being in there and then both finding their place. Like you said, one's a little bit longer and you're probably not going to get more reps in, but you might want to dive right back into Flamecraft after finishing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, T-Witch's brain burner, Flamecraft, not so much. A little bit more streamlined. You kind of have a good idea of
not
what
a burner, but you will not. You'll still yearn to do more the way you do in any game.
Yeah, or any good game.
Yeah, any good game, yes. You'll still yearn to be like, oh, if I just had one more turn, I could have finished this, I could have done this.
Yeah, just one more action, one more little thing, Yeah. But yeah, those are Flamecraft and T-Witches. Both highly recommend, I think, for me.
Yeah, and me. I know both of our partners also really like them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they both are the reason we each own
both games.
The specific games. Yes,
that's kind of funny. I didn't consider that. Both similar origin stories in our collections.
And I guess that brings me to our other topic today. We have two very similar games, two different price points, and we didn't really choose these games. They sort of were chosen for us by our partners.
Yeah.
But, we've come a long way from our first board game and many, many impulse purchases. So I think it's actually harder for us now to make a purchase that, just a shotgun purchase. We don't just spend money anymore in board games. We've run out of room,
Right.
we no longer have the room. We no longer have the time to play the way we thought we were going to get to play all our games. So I actually wanted to ask you, like, what does it take for you to buy a game now? And I actually wanted to sort of split that up into categories, which is $30, $60 to $70, and 100 plus.
Ooh.
Okay, because the $30 games can be things like Epic Tiny Kingdoms in the $30-ish range.
Yeah.
And then you have Flamecraft, then you have T-Witches, and then you have something that's even bigger than both of them.
Yeah.
So just sort of not quickly, but give me like what your sort of might be to get you to spend that money.
Right. No, that's a great question. Actually,
let's go and start with the $30. Or anything you want to add to it, then the $30 one first.
Yeah, for sure. No, I was definitely gonna start from the bottom and go up, as far as like price tiers. But yeah, no, I think the question always, no matter what, how much money is burning a hole in my pocket, the question is always how, like, one, how many times am I gonna get this to the table, and two, am I gonna enjoy that time? Is my partner gonna enjoy that time? Who am I intending this game for? So I guess maybe those are the three things in my head.
At least the first thing that pop into your head.
Yeah. Okay, so in the $30 range, I'm probably less concerned about how frequently it's going to hit the table, and I'm more concerned about how many people can I make this appeal to. Mm-hmm. Like how many situations will this game fit? Answer the call.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you value replayability?
Not replay.
Not but how many? I guess that's exactly what you said. You didn't want to say it was.
Yeah. So no, it's. I guess it's more like I'm less concerned mechanically in pleasing everyone,
okay.
and more thinking about like aesthetically at least, who will be attracted to this. Like because that I think determines whether or not the game will ever see the light of day.
Mm.
And it's a little bit easier if the game is a miss because I only spent, the asking price is only $30.
And for you, I think it's a little bit different because you do have to think of multiple play groups, whereas I think of maybe 1.5 play groups.
Yeah.
We have a lot of the same friends, but you have a whole other section with friends that are yours and your wife's that are completely different.
Yeah. So, and I guess I hadn't considered that, but definitely, like, I'm considering, because, we also different from the last time that we recorded is now we kind of have a place of our own a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We're only living with one roommate who we happen to know fairly well. So this is sort of a new situation for us, having the space to, accommodate having people over and playing games. So, now I'm, if I'm looking at my $30 games, maybe I'm thinking, oh, well, I've got an answer for this group and that group, but I really don't have anything for this, this particular person. Mm-hmm. Like, if I've got somebody like Alex that hasn't quite shown any great enthusiasm for any of the games I brought to the table, maybe that's what my $30 pick is really about. It's like, okay, I want to get something that's going to appeal to that player, but I don't want to spend a lot of money doing it since it's just for that player.
For that one player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. You use those $30 picks to be more niche picks?
Yeah, I think definitely. Yeah, which is why I think I gravitate towards the Tiny Epic games so much, is because they definitely they sort of take a common concept that's popular in board games and just tweak it a little bit and present it just slightly differently from how you might typically see it in a larger, fair game.
Yeah. They do squeeze a lot into a little package.
Yeah, and they typically pull things off in a way that most games don't. Like I can't get over, I guess because Tiny Epic Western was my first Tiny Epic game. Mm-hmm. It's why and it's also the one I first acquired, so I've played it the most. But I've never played anything that even comes close to that. Mm. And Tiny Epic Kingdoms also felt like
very fun game.
Yeah, very fun. No, I didn't feel like anyone really tackled it in quite the same way that they did, and they made it streamlined enough, but still retaining that flavor of, what I might expect from a larger board game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and maybe that's yet another element. I'll be honest, it's sort of a complex maze that I navigate every time I'm in the board game shop and I'm looking around shopping, But moving on to the next tier up, if we're looking at like $45, maybe $50 games, I think that's when I start to restrict myself more, because then it's like I need to enjoy this game at this point now.
Right. It's going to your collection. It's your time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bigger game. It's gonna take up space. Limiting how many other games I can own. So now is when I'm starting to tighten, the hole, the peg.
Yeah.
That for it that needs to be fit. So I think then at that point I start to consider more, how frequently, like, can I get replay out of this? Like, I'm looking for, mechanics. Something needs to be different about this game than any other game in my collection. Like, it has to do something that none of my other games do.
You're looking for more of like staples?
Yeah, like things that I want to whip out because, like, I need to show, like, the game must offer an experience that I can't deliver with any other game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that's I think,
that's where you're getting into the between the 60 and 70. Or I'm sorry, it was the
between the 30 and the 50 or 45, 50. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's 30, then it's like the 45, 50.
Yeah. So yeah, because now small price usually means small box, which means less footprint. I can be more forgiving. 50 and up or 45 and up. Yeah, no, I'm starting to tighten. And I need that. I think that's my hard line, because even going above that up to the $60 range, I'm still kind of in the same headspace as far as the decisions, what's driving. I just kind of expect a little bit more presentation, I think, getting into the $60 range, and then when we finally break that into like the 75 and up, maybe $100, now I'm like, okay, that needs to not only be a unique experience, it needs to be a big experience. It needs to fill, at least half an evening, and it needs to be something that people want to come over for, so, and then that's probably why I don't own any.
Of the $100
yeah,
ones?
I mean, I did own StarCraft, but that was one in a game, in a tournament. And then I owned, because I think StarCraft is $150 game.
Yeah, it was like 120, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then no, even Civilization, which I think was my only other biggest game. Even that is only, I think, like 60 or 75.
Oh yeah, and at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Minus expansions.
Yeah, minus the expansions for sure.
So it's also weird because I think we come from a very different time where sort of board games fell into a price tag category, and right now games aren't as easily
categorized
in with dollar value, because I think we sort of like just got past this big sort of miniature boom that we had, where every goddamn game needed to have miniatures with it.
Oh yeah.
And that, of course, skyrockets the price.
Yeah.
So you may be getting a game that's, decent in quality and everything, but you're going to be paying for those miniatures, for all that extra heft. Sometimes good, sometimes, meh. I'll give you an example. Frostpunk, you talked about it earlier. That's one of the few games that we kickstarted because we loved Frostpunk from the Steam game from online. Originally it comes with the wooden pieces that for buildings and stuff like that, and that's how you would show the buildings that you build and also like cool stuff. But with like the super extra expansions and extra models and stuff like that, you get these little gray 3D printed models.
Sure.
Really nice, but in fact they don't really add anything necessarily, because they actually kind of block the spaces that you're there. So you have to be like, what is this again? You lift it. Oh, it's the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
It will take you a while to learn what building is what, because they're not painted.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're all gray. So I actually think that sometimes they can take away from the gameplay. We end up playing without the miniatures a lot, actually.
That's kind of, yeah, that's really telling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at your games, and I think War of the Ring kind of falls in that $100 category, no?
So when I purchased it, I think it falls into like that. It starts to get up there. I think it was like in that $70 range.
Okay, so I think that's an example of a game that I might find myself investing in, even though I've not got a single play in of the game. But what I've known about it, what I've looked
It just
into,
draws you to it.
yeah, it's like that's sort of, I think, what I look for in that higher tier, is because it seems like a game that demands multiple plays.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big experience that, it's supposed to be like a 3 or 4 hour game.
Yeah, it's quite large.
Yeah. For 2 players specifically. So that makes it, that lowers the barrier of entry as far
you
as
need
like
one friend.
Yeah, one friend to get it to the table. You don't need a group. I used to think that campaigns would be it, but I now own a couple campaign games, and we completed the one, King's Dilemma, which kind of started everything. But then we never. It was Seafall. I got that same year for Christmas. I got Seafall, and I have yet to get it to the table. In fact, I have yet to muster the energy to try to sell it, to get it to the table, because I know it's going to be involved.
Ask.
Yeah, it's a big ask, asking somebody to come, not only enjoy, 2+ hours of board gaming, but to do so on a regular basis, to continue playing that same game.
That's how I felt about Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
And I know actually Tom and our friend BB, and I believe Alex as well, played through a good amount of them, and they thought it was really fun. It really is all about commitment when it comes to those big board games. I literally just said it.
Legacy.
Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven, yeah.
Anything Legacy as well. There was a really big one that BB pre-ordered, and we played it. Kingdom Death Monster.
Oh.
That thing is all flash, and the substance is okay.
Oh no.
I mean, it's fine. I want to replay it because I want to continue to see the flash.
Yeah.
But I think the amount of work that you have to do in order to get some of that stuff is a little much.
Okay.
For some, and especially how much it costs. Holy shit.
Yeah, I remember playing a little bit of Gloomhaven and thinking, man, this is really authentic dungeon delving experience. This is what it felt like. I remember, playing games like Diablo or whatever, or Baldur's Gate or what have you. Where as far as the combat's concerned anyways. But outside of that, it, like, when I kind of sat back and looked at it, I was like, I could kind of get a better experience playing D&D, I feel like. You know what I mean?
I think it's Gloomhaven is definitely like D&D in a box.
Yeah. It's sort of the tight, streamlined D&D experience.
Some people really like that. Some people are definitely more of a need it to be a free-flowing thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends on what it needs. You need to get you there. $100, $100 for me. It would have to be. I don't think I could just justify buying a board game that costs $100 anymore. Like, aside from miniatures, they're coming with a bunch of miniatures. Because aside from maybe kickstarting, for some reason, kickstarting, however you say it. Kickstarting. Thank you. Kickstarting? Is it kickstarting? Right?
Kickstarting. Yeah.
Kickstarting has sort of like warped everybody's perception of what a goddamn board game costs. Because I've now done a few Kickstarters, and each one have been like, I would have never paid this amount of money in store for this game. not in a bad way, just like
had I seen this?
Yeah, Frostpunk was over like $200 something.
Whoa!
With everything, and it's super nice, but that's a lot.
That is a lot. Yeah, right? If you had seen that box on the shelf and seen a $200 sticker on it,
right,
you would have said, "Hell no."
Right. Distilled, fun game. We played it a bunch. Definitely for me was one of those worth investments. But I got that plus the expansion. But I altogether, I think it was like over $100.
Dang.
Right. But that's in store. It would have been like 60 and then 20 for the expansion. So like around the same.
Yeah.
But because I got like the nice counters with it or whatever came with it when I kickstarted it, it just for whatever it feels like kickstarting stuff warps your mind and lets you pay more money for a board game because you get that all that exclusive crap and everything. Whereas if the $60 base board game isn't good enough, why do you want all this extra crap?
Yeah,
you know,
if it needs all of that other stuff, is it really optional anymore? Now you're looking at $100 purchase,
right.
Like not a 60 plus 20 plus 20. You know?
Right. So Kickstarter sort of, I think, like I said, warps the perception of that because of what you get. All the exclusives and the FOMO and everything. And that's what you're paying for.
The stretch goals,
stretch goals and all this other stuff. Whereas if I got T-Witches and then somebody showed me all the Kickstarter crap, I'd been like, oh, cool. Maybe I want that stuff as well. But the base game kept me here.
Yeah.
Definitely was worth the $60, however much it was.
Yeah.
The core gameplay, everything, essentially, aesthetically, everything is beautiful. Everything's good. Makes me happy. Is there extra? Great. Do I need it? No. This is enough right now. Expansions? I'm always down for expansions.
You just got me so excited for a T-Witches expansion. Like I want more of this game.
Yeah, and that's definitely a sign of a good game where you could see yourself adding more, and it wouldn't be like a detriment too.
Yeah, like I don't see T-Witches and be like, oh man, I really need something else for this game. Yeah. No, it's, oh man, this game is so good. I can't wait to see what else they come up with. You know what I mean? Like,
was it you that was saying? Is there an expansion?
No.
Because you were saying something like you wanted to try asymmetric T-Witches.
Yes, I would love to see like variable player powers.
Yeah.
Because
that's a quick upgrade.
Yeah.
That's sort of what's the game we just played? I always mispronounce it. The caves. It was the one.
Lost Ruins of Arnok.
Yes. See, I'm always fucking that thing. Lost Ruins of Arnok. You played it originally with the variable powers and stuff like that. Yeah. So you were like, no, I'm spoiled. I can't go back to the original.
No.
Which I think is a good thing with the T-Witches because you got it here. And then if you get an expansion, something like that down the line, you're now not spoiled. You can, you can see the difference and everything. But yeah, so we talked a little bit about Flamecraft, talked a little bit about T-Witches, the wonderful art of Sandra Tang, and it was the game designed by
Manny Vega.
Vega for both of them, right?
Both games, yes.
Both games. Different publishers.
Yep.
Different price points, both excellent games. Good if you're looking for any gift recommendations.
Yeah.
This podcast will probably be out before December, but not enough to where you can probably get these games.
Yeah.
But we talked about that, and then we talked about what actually gets us to spend our money within a few price points, 30, 50-ish, and 70 plus.
Yeah. I think next time I wish we could have talked more about Through the Ages, because that is sort of the first game that got us back together, playing board games again.
Oh, we can definitely talk about that next time, and the asymmetric stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna play more of it too.
Yeah, absolutely. When you go home tonight, I'm sure we can get a game in.
Oh, what's happening?
Okay, for sure. And hopefully you guys will come back and join us in this next game dilemma, and we'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one, guys.